you guys worked throughout the weekend and did this under schedule time.
No, you have insurance, so anything, we're gonna come and fix it for free.
Cheapest and at least perceived reliable.
I feel that I'm underpriced.
You guys are really good though. Honestly, we're very, very happy.
Can I put this reference of you for our feedback?
Of course. I can write a review as well if you want me to. Again, yeah, 10 out of 10. Our owner did come in here on the weekend and saw the guys working. So we do appreciate the fact that you guys, worked throughout the weekend and did this, under schedule time. Yeah, all that's very much appreciated.
We claimed for the 3 weeks plus 4 days extra for the extra work, but we've done 1 week earlier.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Can I ask you a few questions just to me understand like your level of the work we've done, just for me to take a feedback as for the business? What's your overall satisfaction from 1 to 10 on how we've done and maybe what you can make better in terms of communication and stuff?
I can't floor you guys, honestly. We're very happy with everything that was installed. It's all high level. Even the quality of it is perfect. Yeah, I wasn't in here a lot while they were actually doing the fit out, but Matthew says communication was really good. I can't think of anything that we're not happy with.
And what about your expectations in terms of when we started our communication? You was worried that do we have the experience in high voltage and can we actually deliver? But how it's aligned between your fears and now the final result?
Yeah. Well, we haven't run the high voltage lines just yet, but from what it looks like, and our engineers had a look at it, it's all really good. And the way it's labeled, the control panel is labeled very well. It all seems very professional. So yeah, very happy with all of it.
But anyway, you have insurance, so anything like we're gonna come and fix it for free, as soon as it's fault, So you work with a company where you have 12 months liability period where we can fix it everything, even if it's like it shouldn't be there anyway. We come and fix it as soon as it's something there, so that's not a problem. So you have nothing to lose there, no risk, And what about timing? Are you happy with how we performed and your expectations about the timing and delays you've been worried about?
Oh no, yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that you finished, a week or two early shows that. No, yeah, no, very happy with that. And the fact that you guys worked over the weekend, we're very impressed. So again, 10 out of 10.
Nice one. And tell me about our pricing, because you did as well the other quotes. How was our pricing? Is it accurate, transparent?
Yeah, the only thing is actually there's feedback, but I guess it's very minor. Your pricing was obviously the cheapest out of anyone we could find. But in terms of, we did our own bottoms up cost analysis of what this should cost, because we actually have our own electricians and stuff as well. To see how much this would cost, inherently. And I just from the breakdown of how you price things, a lot of it was grouped in, so it was kind of difficult to see what cost what. I'm not saying you need to update the way that you show your budgeting for it, but that was one thing we were trying to we were basically trying to see how much margin there was being taken from this project, and it was kind of difficult to see from the quote you gave, because a lot of it was grouped in all together. And other ones, the other more uncompetitive quotes we got had a lot more detail in them, I guess, of exactly this cost this much, this cost this much. But yeah, I guess one of the reasons why it took so long to sign you guys on as well was that our owner was kind of a little bit worried about the high overheads and profit margin that was on it. But I mean, it was still, we don't do construction, so we don't know how much these things cost. We do large scale solar construction. We were trying to compare it to that.
Yeah.
But the argument I was making to try and get this signed is the overheads is very high for a small project like this. And I think you said that in your email as well. So
so just to explain to you how the financial side in construction works, so basically I'm gonna give you clean comparable, so it's depending on the company and depending how we present our prices. So for example, for me, I might have 40% overhead on some projects. That's not because my margin is high, that's because my labor is low, and that's because I optimize the cost so well that I can have bigger margin. For example, my subcontractors are been with me for 10 years and I get the best prices and as well as the best competition on the market. So as my business, as I'm a business owner, of course, I want my margin to be better, for the risk and as well for the return on investment. And then you can go, for example, to another contractor and they can show you the margin 5%, but in the end of the day, they can be higher in the total price, and because they just use more expensive subcontractors, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
they not optimize their supply chain, you know, or because we have a lot of direct labor working on us, you know, so that's how we can have the better margin. And as well, this is very small projects, so usually in construction the margins are going lower as soon as you go to the bigger project. But you know, the question is here, why your owner should worry about our margin as soon as we are competitive against other people, you know? Because
Yeah.
my margin can be quite good because of being 10 years in construction, because my processes are optimized the way that I can afford to have this margin, you know what I'm trying to say? But in any case, if that worries you a lot, I can next time and next quote show that I have 5% margin.
We kind of it kind of came out that the profit and margin compared to your quote was quite high, but that doesn't mean that the way we were doing our cost analysis this was accurate, which was what
Yeah.
the thing I was trying to raise with him. But also we got 5 quotes and you were the cheapest by a long way. That was kind of my argument I was trying to make with him. But yeah, he basically he just wanted to make sure we got the best price possible, which I thought we did. The way the costs are broken down, if it was slightly more detailed, it might have helped a bit, just in terms of convincing him that we are going
Yeah.
with the right one. Yeah, my point was always that I've gone out, spoken to everyone. This is the cheapest I could get, and also I guess the most cheapest and at least perceived reliable.
The thing is now that I feel that I'm underpriced.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm joking.
You guys are really good though. Like we're honestly we're very very happy with the way you've dealt with this, and communication was good, and it was very cost effective compared to anyone else that we went out to. So there's no real complaints. This was just a minor thing.
I
Don't
took
change
the
anything
note.
with that.
I took the note, and the next quote I'll present in more details, so it's easier for your team to understand. And even, you know, we can even run the call, so I can walk you through why this is there and why this has caused this much, you know, because the other angle you need to understand as well, that we quote you on the lump sum. So, you know, if something goes wrong, we have as well the risk. For example, like some of the stuff didn't arrive, or some of the stuff arrived damaged, we replaced it
Yeah,
at our own cost because the supplier didn't want to give us the money back and stuff like that. Then
yeah,
some
yeah,
parts arrived, we had to buy extras, which we didn't allow for. So this is all inside the risk of the business, you know.
yeah. Of course.
That's
Okay.
why we need to have a margin, because if something goes wrong, or we're gonna have delay or something like that, we pay this from our pocket. So if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So if you
Um.
cannot calculate it with the direct labor you have employed, of course, but then you need to think, okay, but they might take them longer, you know, because we price you at the lump sum at a certain period of time, which we must get done. Otherwise, we pay from our pocket, you know. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Our owners are very happy with you guys. So I think it probably will be you guys that we want to go with this. We just need to get our quotes to make sure, we do our own due diligence in terms of
Yeah, of
pricing,
course.
which I'm sure
I
you
understand.
understand.
Of course, man. That's that. I always, even if the clients say, "Look, we like you guys and we want to work with you," but I always say, "Guys, you need to obtain other quotes to understand that we are correct and we are competitive and we are
Yeah,
on the right spot." Because then, you know, I don't want to have any headache that the clients say, "Oh, why this is too expensive?" Because that's the price, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So I always
yeah, yeah.
advise
No,
guys, you
definitely.
need to do your quotes, because then you can see and where we are, and we can negotiate always. We are open, we are transparent, you know. This is not about the cost of the actual work. This is about the cost of lost and incorrect project management and issues you can have with the wrong people. You know, you might have like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
quote, but that quote can end up you 150 or 200 plus your lost time, headache, and like frustration, you know. But
yeah,
when the team is like involved on 1000%, the quote can be higher a little bit for the project management because of the professionalism, but then it's end up you a huge saving in everything, you know, and project delivered on the best quality and satisfaction, meaning that you save time, you saved money, and you are happy in the end, you know, because the most expensive, I think, nerve system, you know, when it's damaged because of someone doing something very bad, you know,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
action, it happens a lot. I think if you can connect me or connect us over the email, so I can then schedule the call with another person from your team, and maybe you can just have a word with them explaining what we just discussed. Then I can as well advise them on the right direction from the day one, you know, maybe help them with the pre-construction and design stage and all that things, which will help make it more flawless, you know, from the day one with the correct planning and correct stages.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll connect you. Yeah, I'll send an email and I'll CC the two of you in, and then you can schedule a call.
So what's your goal for the next things? What you want to achieve actually in terms of positioning and maybe comfort for the team, and what are requirements, I would say?
The office that's upstairs is kind of too small for, I guess, the bigger team that wants to move in here. So originally it was going to be a small team of 10 people, but now we want a team of 20 people to be in that office upstairs. So in order to fit everyone in there, we want to make the office bigger. And for the office to be bigger, you basically just break down the wall and take up some of the warehouse space on the top floor. But we also want, there's another department in our company who wants to use the upstairs space for storage and also for some type of battery testing. So that's why we want to put the mezzanine in there. The exact details is still to be decided. I did speak to the person running it yesterday. So I think they have a rough drawings of it, I think. And they are starting to reach out for quotes. I've given them your details, so I'll push them today to basically get in touch if you don't hear anything. This time, everything will be done just on the one. This one doesn't have the same urgency to it. We won't do the thing where we get another company to do the MEP drawings and then you guys do the installation. It will all just be under the one company. It was a bit of a mess going with the other company.
You learned it this way, you know. The thing is, what I want to give you as an edge, and maybe you can explain to them that it's always better to work better on the design stage, because then the cost of mistake is very small. It's just to change a few lines, right? But when you start construction and design is haven't finalized, you build something and then, oh, I don't like it, let's rip it off, and then 10K, 20K, 30K invested already, you know. It's better to work with one team, professionals who can advise you, okay, this is my requirement. I want this team, so many people to have space. I want these people to be there, and I want space for storage. So then professional architect or someone understanding the planning can see, okay, this is the best use of every single square meter you can have, and this is what I can propose for you based on my experience and my knowledge. So this is where you save a lot of time and money, and as well a communication in between different teams. The vision can be put in one document and everyone can say, yeah, I like it. This is my signature. Yeah, I understand that. Let's make it happen. You know, because when there is something not clear, or this is have not decided and that not decided, and you kind of thinking we can do it faster and we can save a little bit of money by not finalizing it here and starting construction, which is usually ending up way longer, because as soon as you started construction, it's very difficult to change something, you know, and especially to finalize. And then like, hopefully with this thing, when you just said about extras on time, because we just been about to put other cables in different directions, you know, and that if you mention it later, that we will have to take it off back and put it again and add it, you know. So that was just on time. And usually in construction, it's not happening on time. You know, the client changes something and then it's cost a lot to change it back or strip it or whatever it is. Understanding the design and scope, the existing team designed you just the Reba stage 3, what it means, it just outlined, they put the lines. Here is what we see, this is number of sockets, this is thing, you know. And usually Reba stage 4, there is where these designers exactly think what is the performance going to be there, how much power going to be, what is the power unit we need to put, what is the breakers we need to put. We need to specify them, because depending on your final outcome, depending which unit you're going to connect, okay, how thick the cable should be, you know. This is usually done properly when there is something complicated. Of course, where is it to put a few walls, that's not required, because we can advise you straight away. But that's important from the planning stage and beginning stage, that actually, and then by the way, you can do value engineering as well. When this guy specifies something, you can say, oh, like the contractor came back, it's too expensive, can we do another way, without actually starting anything. It's like a cheap way to understand where to save money, how to save money. We save a lot of time and project management issues for our clients by having our design team. It can be the architect and as well as M&E and the structural engineer. And I say them, or my project managers say them, look, this is the exact requirements, and we want to save money. We want to have as most efficient design as possible in terms of value and money. That's the easiest way and the fastest way to approach any construction project. Of course, if it's a small thing, you don't need so much thing, but when it's a bit of money investment required and time, and if it's some special technical requirements in terms of high voltage or whatever it is, or any like structural things, it's better to approach it professionally, properly from the stage one, so you save time and money in the end.
We don't want the headache going back and forth, even if it did work out. We are quite grateful of the way you guys handled the the lack of information you were given. I'll send you an email to get you guys set up.
And if you can just have a bit of word with the person so they understand how we approach and like what we just discussed, so because my aim is always to get it more efficient, so we all more happy and we all make more money and we make faster money, because you run the business and you want this running as better as possible for you and as fast as possible. Can I put this reference of you for our feedback?
Yeah, of course. I can write a review as well if you want me to.
Thank you very much.
Will do.